Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. We're out on another Friday walk. Having to do a slightly different route this time, with it being a sunny day. There's quite a few people about, but all about easing stress, getting about in nature and talking a bit silliness. Now, this is actually being recorded on a Friday this time because, well, I've recently at work changed my hours, or due to stress, got a slightly different role. So it's only a temporary move at the moment, but not permanent. So they're sort of like trying to fit me in where they can, which means my hours are all over the place. Today, when you're watching this, I'll probably be at work. Well, I will be. So I've got a shift that's 5 p.m. to 9 p.m, which is a bit weird. It's only 4 hours long, so it's not too bad. But my day's a bit upside down. Yes, so I hope you are well. This is going to be a bit of an editing test for me today. I think there's a lot of dog walkers, but I haven't been out on a Friday for a while in terms of the filming bit. So hope you had a good week and wishing you a great weekend. Hope you get time to get outside. Hope the weather's okay. In the UK it's Bank Holiday Monday, which often triggers it to be raining, but today it doesn't seem to be too bad. Yeah, see, my work, I'm sat on a, I might have told you this before, I'm sat on a checkout now, so I just get on with it without being interrupted by management, and just interact with people, which is my thing really, talking to people. So it's not the highest powered job in the world, but that combined with YouTube, it's good for me to battle my stress there. Took me about 20 odd years to get out of banking, not realising that was the problem. But you know, life's an unusual road, and I'm sure you might have a similar story as well there. Here we go. Hope you've enjoyed the games we've had a look at this week on the channel. You might have seen one, you might have seen none, you might have seen all of them, but if you have clicked on them and watched them to any length, then thank you very much, because that's the sort of thing that keeps the channel going in terms of watch time, that keeps the channel above water, because there's lots of competition, lots of cheeky work going on as well. It's a bit hard to get noticed sometimes, but I've been doing it for a while. But the videos the games we looked at this time round was on the ZX Spectrum last Saturday, Bug Eyes, which is an interesting game, a tricky game, where you need to advance from screen to screen by avoiding obstacles. It's quite evil in places, not as evil as Dan Terrific 3 or anything like that, but it's getting towards that sort of area. That's not a bad little game. Also as well, I'm not sure I'd go back to Bug Eyes, because it's like instantly forgettable, but it was clever in the sort of things it was doing. We also looked at a Pac-Man clone. There's loads and loads of Pac-Man games. The official conversion on the Spectrum release was done by Atari Soft. We looked at this one on the live stream as well, I believe. It's called Nasher. No, nothing to do with Dennis the Menace's dog in the Beano. It's Pac-Man. The maze is a little bit small when you compare it to the official conversion by Atari Soft, but it sort of like does what it should do. In 1983, I think, so if you had it back in the day, it would have sufficed as a kid, a Pac-Man, if you didn't know of any of the others. Now, I've recently mentioned it as well. I looked at a homebrew called Dan Terrific 3. The first two games are really, really tricky. This one is quite tricky as well outside filming. This one is quite tricky as well. It goes in a different direction. Whereas Dan Terrific 1 and 2 was single screen, you had to solve. This one you go on a bit of explore, you still need to navigate the screen, but you don't have to collect all the items to get to the next stage. Really good music in this. I really hope there'll be a fourth one. Maybe they'll leave it at 3, maybe 3 is like the perfect number. I don't know, but they were the ZX Spectrum games, a real cool homebrew, well worth tracking down that one there. That was by 2021, I think that. And I've realised there's a few racing games I haven't covered yet on the Commodore Amiga, so we addressed that with the first one. It was Fast Lane Spice Engineering Challenge. Moves really, really well, this, a really great frame rate. Do have a look at the video, bit of a hidden gem a little bit, but the qualifying is really, really smooth, and it's slightly ruined in the race that the cars, well, they haven't been rendered very well, and they're maybe a bit too wide for the course. But it's interesting to see. I mean, the frame rate is better than Test Drive 2, one of my favourite games there. But yeah, it's good, but you feel that a modder can go back onto that and improve it. If the race section had been a bit better, I think it would have been a really, really, really cool game. It's got a cockpit view, that one. And also on the Atari 2600, we've reviewed this game on many systems: Game Boy Advance, Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum as well, which is my... It's not the best conversion, I admit, because it hasn't got the music on the Spectrum one, but I grew up with this, so I love Spy Hunter. We looked at it on the Atari 2600, which does have a bit of music there. It's quite basic looking, but the gameplay is there, so have a look at any of these reviews if you missed them or want to find out a bit more about the game. I can certainly do, as I say, with the watch time there, so thank you there. So that was interesting, and thanks to Greyhawk 2, because I've now got a more reliable Commodore 64 emulator called C64 Forever, which I'm still getting a bit to grips with. Hopefully we can do a live stream at some point with that if it's stable enough. But we looked at West Bank. Yeah, I mean, you take the role of a bank clerk in the Wild West. There's 12 doors, and you've got to take a deposit from each of those doors to move on to the next stage, at the same time avoiding all the bad guys. It's an arcade conversion from the game Bank Panic, if you're aware of that, but on the consoles and computers it's named West Bank. So yeah, have a look at those. It's been another active week. If you're a member on the channel, which we'll come to, you get a video on Sunday letting you know what the next week's games are going to be. So yeah, thank you to all of you. Just taking a seat here. Looks like the blackberry season is starting again. Not sure they look good enough to eat at the moment, but yes. How are you with the mask wearing? I mean, I think it varies from country to country, but in the UK at the moment, it's an option. You don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. Now, at work, I work at a supermarket. I've been wearing my mask just as a politeness to other people coming through, because you don't know how they feel about it. But I think I'm starting to get, it used to be 50-50, but now I think I'm getting in the minority of people wearing masks. Customers around the supermarket, I suppose that might be a 60-40 split. I think most people aren't wearing them. I just think it's a little bit early, but I'm always a bit of a worry boots. What I don't want is another lockdown wave happening around about Christmas and that ruining that, where we can't go out. So when you go out, are you wearing a mask in shops and public transport? I mean, when I was on the bus, I think one day I was the only person wearing it. I thought, this is a bit weird. But yeah, maybe I'm wearing a bit more. I always think better safe than sorry. But you know, when is the limit? How long do you wear them for? And I think it's all a bit too recent with new strains. Also, there's reports, although the news always says the worst of things, that people that's already been double jabbed are starting to get, well, some people are getting ill as well. So I don't know if that is COVID again or just something similar to COVID, but that is a little bit of a worry. So what are you doing? You wearing masks still, or are you not wearing masks, or is it just vary what mood you're in? Yes, interesting times. Back into the wooded section. We didn't go out last week. Can't remember why that was. That was like time constraints probably, or stuff that's going on with my weird and wonderful hours. What I was thinking, there's not too many dog walkers when it gets to this bit. What I was thinking is next week, I might, always time permitting, I might go a bit further afield, might go on a slightly different walk. What do you reckon there? There's Hockley Woods that is quite near me. Well, it's a bit of a walk, but I could be able to get there. Sweet. As I always say, walks are always good for making your brain think in a slightly different way, a bit of de-stressing away from everything, especially when you get to a point where there's nobody around. There's a closer walk I do, we haven't been there for quite some time, that has like ducks and stuff there, but it tends to be more populated with people. And the reason why I keep going there is I remember it from vivid memories from infant school when we went round. It's one of the ones where it's run by the National Trust, and you lift logs up and there's like bugs underneath and that sort of thing, and there's sort of like a hole which is probably a badger set or something like that. It's really nice, and the nostalgia I get is great. Now, when I went there recently, they've got this sort of like wooden benches around, maybe about 3 or 4, and they're like covered in moss and show good age to it, and it's probably the same ones that were there probably 35, maybe even 40 years ago when I went. Now when I went there last time, although it's a good thing I suppose, they were gone. They were replaced by whole new wooden benches, and they're really, really new, and I thought, oh no, It's a bit like someone has sort of like chopped away a bit of my childhood. I know it sounds a bit much, but thankfully I had the, because I get a bit emotional down there sometimes, so I only go down there when I had a bit of a bad time. I had the forethought when I last went down before they replaced it to take a picture of one of these, so I've always got that on my phone. And when I'm a bit stressed, I look at that and it's like my central place, my place of brain repair, or the eye in the storm. So it looks a bit different with them there, but I suppose that's the start of someone else's memories, isn't it? Someone else from infant school might be going down there doing exactly the same thing, and 30 years from now that'll be back in the same disrepair. But I took a picture of it, so I've always got that to look at. But you know, it's all like aged with the place. Now it looks like something a bit artificial there. But have you got any places like that? If so, if you've got any benches you like or areas, take a photo of them, because then because one time you never know, you might walk through and it might have automatically changed. So that's my tip for you. You might start recognising these walks more than I do, but aficionados of these Friday walk videos might know I'm slightly going downhill now, where the woods sort of like meets the motorway. Well, then I will have to walk along the roadway a bit, which I won't film on because it's too noisy. You might notice it's getting a bit noisy now. But we go past that famous landmark called, well, let's call it the Red Rubbish Bag. And yes, one day it'll be gone, but it's been there for maybe since we ever started making these videos, which might be getting on for about 1.5 or 2 years ago. So I imagine it's still there, decaying away, gradually turning into a new life form. Yep, and there we go. True is true, there it is, looking great with about 5,000 diseases in it. But let's leave that alone before I get infected. There we go. As you can tell, there's a tractor behind me there, which is a bit noisy. So there's a bit guy looking at me, so it's a bit reluctant on filming, but looks like they're doing maintenance. So as you can see, normally that's all with thorn bushes are getting cut to ribbons. Now it's clear, so it's for the greater good. Greater good. Please stay close. Right. Occasionally in the news, I've been seeing pictures and reading about stories of supermarket shelves empty with no stock on there, and they sort of like blame like the combined hit of either Brexit with supplies being diminished and the government COVID app where lorry drivers get pinged so they can't work, so deliveries can't get made. And where I am, well, certainly where I work, I haven't experienced that. Not the odd item that's not in stock, but that happens normally. Haven't really seen that. Is that something you've experienced in supermarkets where you are, even the UK or abroad, because of diminished supplies because of COVID or whatever? But yeah, I mean, you have to take news reports with a pinch of salt, don't you, really? Because it's like shock value. The more shocking the story or the bad the news, the more views it gets. They're pretty much like Arsenal TV. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they're an unofficial, I think it's either YouTube or channel to do with the fans of Arsenal television, and they always talk the matches down, and they get their most views when Arsenal have lost. And then I think the fans are not really happy with them. I mean, it seems to be the people that run in Arsenal TV don't want the team to do well, because if the team do well, then their videos get less views because there's less potent views about what's going on. There we go. That's news, isn't it? That's news in general. That's how the way the world goes. No one's gonna do a nice news report about someone that baked a lovely apple pie and eating it and thought it was really tasty. That's not a news item. Okay, so getting up to the vineyard now. This is normally where I take my seat and say a thank you to the members. Doesn't look like anyone else is coming, so we'll do that. A lot of crows about round here, as you can see, over the vineyard. And I think we've been spotted by the crows at least. Yes, there they go. So as usual, yeah, I mean a huge, I know I say this every week, but I really mean it, a huge thank you to the members. If you want to find out, if you want to become a member and help the channel a bit more, gain access to the members section, click on the join button, doesn't commit you straight away, and there's a video by me telling you a little bit what it's about. I'm not sure how the wind's been on the camera during this, it seems quite low. Sometimes I get back to the editing and it's worse than I thought. So thank you. Sorry if it goes up and down, but thank you. That's the nature of outdoor filming when you've got a fairly cheap camera. One day I'll upgrade it, no doubt. So yeah, thank you to everyone on all tiers of the members. If you're on the second tier and above, I will give you a shout out if your name, unless you don't want me to, and I can shout out any sites or any outside projects you're working on there as well. There's 3 of you that always take me up on that, and it's a pleasure to shout these out there. So just remember, if any of you got anything else you want me to do just once or all the time, then let me know. Either on Twitter, Jenkins7Nick, if you follow me there, or in the members section if you got access to that. I know how to get there. Lovely, thank you. So big thank you this time round to GTP Films, thank you. Grey Hulk 2, thank you Grey Hulk 2 with your help on the Commodore 64 front, thank you there. Hopefully do a few more of those games. Thanks to David Harakawa. Neil Barrett, thank you Neil for your game suggestions as well. There's quite a lot of them, but I do write them down, so you know we'll get to them eventually there. I think a few of them we've already hit. Thank you to Ratty, Malad1, thank you there. Rzone 1255, thank you very much appreciated. The great Alf Fairweather, now I still don't know if I'm pronouncing this one right, but I'll say Torquemada, is that right? Torquemada? Let me know if it's wrong, but thank you. Also big thank you to Jason Smith and Stu Who, thank you fellas. Nikki S, always good when I see you in a live stream there, and Claire Johnson. What Ho Snorkers, keep doing what you're doing, excellent, thank you, very funny chappy. Big thanks to John Rovey and Jeffrey Searby as well, and occasionally you catch a live stream, so it's always gives me a smile when I see you both there. Big thanks to Steve Norman. Now this is the first shouty out. If you've seen these before, you might be familiar with Steve Norman's work already, but if you haven't done, or if you haven't for a while, or even if you have done, have another look there. It's retroarcadia.blog. It's Steve's retro gaming blog that he updates at least once a week. And this week he's had a look at Pac-Man games, also a handheld called Mini Munchman based around Pac-Man, and also a few variants as well. He looked at Pac-Mania. It always puts some great screenshots, great graphics on his blogs. It's one of my favourites there as well in terms of Pac-Man orientated games, and that's Aliens. Sorry, I always have to look at someone's coming. That's Aliens, where instead of controlling Pac-Man, have reviewed this, you control a marine with a gun going around the maze trying to outrun the aliens. That's always good to see. So Retro Arcadia blog, I think he even had a look at a few other handhelds there, including Snoopy Tennis, I think, when I looked through. So good work from Steve Norman. Check out his blog, retroarcadia.blog. Okay, so big thank you as well to Lemmy Barnett. Thank you, Lemmy. Thank you. Likewise, always good to see you in the live streams when you're there. Massive thanks also to Steve Q. Thank you, Steve, for all your help. And Phil Hill. Thank you there, Phil. I hope you're doing okay. Rossi Bossy as well. Now we always mention, I keep swapping hands because I'm a weakling. We always say thank you to Rossi Bossy. Check out Rossi's site above me there. I think it's rossbossy.itch.io, I think, but it will say it correct up there. And yeah, we've already reviewed his games Nifty Lifty 2 and Re-Enduro. They're free to download, so have a look at those if you haven't already on a PC. I think one of them's available for Android as well. But more importantly, I did say it last week, Rossi's working on a more advanced game than those two called Super 3D Pixel Grand Prix. The name might change, but starting today, I believe, unless anything's changed, Rossi will tell you on his Twitter thing, I'm sure, there's an alpha test starting for the game, running through from 27th to the 29th. Might have changed, I'll take that with a pinch of salt, but that was what was planned last week. If you want to go to Rossi's Twitter, obviously track him down, or if you go to that site up there, that will show you his Twitter page, or if you want to go to Jenkins7Nick, I retweet a lot of his stuff, not all of his stuff, but a good percentage, so have a look at that. Thank you very much. Now I think I just heard someone coming against all odds, hopefully not. So big thank you also to Chono Baggy and Jason Holmes. So let's get up and walk so I can see who's coming. Right, there was no one coming, it was just echoey. There we go. After a couple of weeks ago where I had that stalker weird bloke following me, you start hearing things that aren't there. So massive thank you to the 6 people who are on the upper tier there. Thank you. If I had 100 people like you, I'd be full-time and doing all sorts of stuff. So thank you very much, you lot. Really appreciate it. Massive thank you to Colin Hode, Martin R. I know you help in other ways as well. Quite often watch the stream the next day when you can. So thank you, Martin. Really appreciated there. Hope all is cool. Big thank you to Richard Mitten. Likewise, I see you in the stream quite often as well. To Tom, thank you, Tom. Jeffrey Webke as well. Thank you, Jeff. Fantastic. Not Jeffrey Webke, Graham Webke. Sorry, dear. I do apologise. It's been a long day. I know you're called Graham Webke. Thanks, Graham. Much appreciated there. Keep thinking of Jeffrey Searby, who's also pretty cool, but you're different people. So thank you, Graham Webke and Jeffrey Searby. I've mentioned you a few times now. Okay, and also, last but not least, always not least, by a great measure of the imagination, is Jules M. I need to sit down now. My arm is really killing me. Nick, oh dear, talk about working out. You can work it out, said Stevie Wonder. Now, get your ears around this one. It's Jules's site. It's mygamingmemories.weebly.com. That's mygamingmemories.weebly.com. Some fantastic blogs from Jules, very dedicated to her subject matter. Now, there's a few ZX Spectrum blogs on there that are new. 3 cool games, Spellbound, and Metabolus and Nightshade, which I think it might link to some of my older reviews I've done on there as well, which can't be a bad thing, so well done, Jules, there. And Jules is always big on the Game Boy Advance games, most particularly the cartoony ones. As you also look out for updates on Tarzan, Garfield and the Cabbage Patch Kids. Yes, I know, it's good to see these things in retro, so get over to mygamingmemories.willoughby.com, show that site some love. You know, Jules deserves it. Always well written, her stuff. Have a go over there, leave a comment there, see what you think on that. So there we go. I think you can leave comments on there, I'm sure you can, but yeah, get over to that site, get a bit of activity on there. mygamingmemories.weebly.com. Right, let's get up. Now, as you're reading it, as you're watching this, if you're watching it as soon as it's gone up, I'm at work, because Friday I've got that 5 till 9 shift. Who thought of that? Some crazy fool. But anyway, I think I'll be the only one there at some point, almost. Well, certainly in the area I'm at. Yes, so have a good Friday. Have a good Saturday. A couple of ZX Spectrum games will be up on the channel on Saturday. Sunday there's a couple of videos as well. If you're a member, access the member section, you'll know what that's going to be. And on Sunday morning, I'll upload a members video for you. So, thank you for coming on my walk once again. Lots of dog walkers on the first bit, no dog walkers on the second bit. I think I need to walk the other way around, but next week I might go on a different walk, a bit further afield, a bit of a change of scenery, a bit darker, and there'll be more trees, more cover, but what could possibly go wrong? I suppose I could get run over by a rhino or horses or some banditos, but the chances of that happening must be at least, 2 to 1. That's massive. Anyway, till next time, take great care of yourself, and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, E.
And Jenkin.